You rise in life to the level of the problems that you can solve. The bigger and more complex and useful the problems you can solve, the higher you will eventually rise. So, Alphas, welcome back to the show. Hope you're well and good. Andy Naylor here, founder and CEO of Naylor by Design, and your host of the Optimal Alpha podcast. Today's going to be super quick. Really just a thought and maybe a perspective on something that I've learned recently, or it's become clear to me recently, that, well, first of all, look, we all want to progress in life, right? Life is a progression, hopefully a progression upwards and forwards into better things, okay? We want to move forward. We want to move upwards. We want to progress our careers. We want to earn more money, and not just for, buying stuff, but, money is there to give us security and options. So therefore we go searching for that. We want a better life. We want to be more stable, more secure, financially secure. We want to have a better body, better health. All of these things, if you really want to think about it, are us getting better, but also it's about us wanting to know that we are moving forward, and it's about raising our status. Technically, nearly everything we do is to raise our status. Think about this carefully. The obvious stuff, right? Go and buy a big flash car, right? Yeah, you enjoy driving the car, but there is status. There is a higher level of status. Whether you agree with me or not, it's happening. Buy a bigger house, live in a different place, wear certain clothes, the partner you choose, the jewelry you wear. It's all status. It's also status if you choose not to do those things, because in your mind, you're raising your own status by going, no, I don't need to buy those things, or live in that place, or do this thing, or be seen in this place, whatever. That's also a different look at way of raising your status. Why is this happening? Well, let's rewind the clock quite a long time, back to, caveman times. Our status in our group would have ensured our survival. Status in a group, certainly back then, meant maybe you actually got some food. Maybe you got to sit near the fire. Maybe you had a partner and could, pass on your genes. That's status. Think about that really, that's status. That's where it comes from. If you had no status back in times of when a group, and it was the most basic stuff, could you live? Could you pass on your genes? Like, status, it happens in the animal world. You'll probably see this now more if you watch, animal-based programs. The higher the status, the better the choices that animal will get. The lower the status, eventually that animal's left out in the cold. Okay. Now, we don't think about it this way anymore. It's not really something that comes to the forefront of our mind, but it's happening subconsciously. Everything we're doing is about raising status, but genuinely we're looking to move forward in terms of our life, right? That's the way we think about it. Now, all of these areas are there for us as an individual to progress and enjoy. Okay. They're all there for us. They are our own responsibility to progress. Okay, our status, our security, our health, our body, the money that we earn, the options that we have, they're our responsibility. No one else's. Other people can help you, of course, but it's no one else's responsibility. Your progress in your life, whatever direction you want that to take, is completely on you. Wherever you are right now is most likely due to the level and the difficulty of the problems that you can currently solve. Where you are right now, and that's not a criticism, that's not a criticism, but where you are right now, if you're not happy with where you are in whatever particular area of your life, it's probably due to the level and the difficulty and the complexity and the usefulness of the problems that you can solve. It sounds really harsh, right? And there will be outliers to that, of course, there always are, but mostly it's true. Elon Musk, I don't know when he said this, but I was researching this out. Elon Musk has literally said, and he's quoted, "You are paid in direct proportion to the difficulty of the problems that you solve." He's way smarter than me, so I believe him, quite frankly. So take that in. It might sting a little bit, to be honest, but it's true if you really want to sit down and think about it. If you're only ever able to solve low-level problems, you'll be in a lower level or lower paid job that anybody else can do who can solve those problems. Yeah? You're in a red ocean. You're in a packed ocean full of people who can solve the same level of problems that you can. Okay? Solve complex and high-level problems that say only you can solve. Now you're in a blue ocean. There's possibly only you and a few other people in there. You can now demand what you want. You are indispensable. You can earn more. You have more freedom. You get more opportunities. Your ability to solve problems is the critical determining factor to your success in life, outside of illness, injury, and a whole bunch of other things. But in terms of some of the things that you've got control over, the complexity of the problems that you can solve is the critical determining factor to the success or failure in your life. Alphas, I interrupt this show with a simple message. This show is here to benefit you and your progression to the best version of yourself. But not only just you, it's also here to benefit the people around you, your loved ones, your friends, other alphas in your vicinity. So why not do a really cool thing today? Something that I would thank you for, and maybe someone else would. Share this podcast with at least one other alpha out there who you know would benefit from it. Why not share the information, share the ability for someone else to grow? I'm sure they would thank you. I 100% would absolutely thank you. This podcast only grows by our listeners, our followers doing amazing things like giving us 5-star reviews, downloading podcasts, subscribing, and then of course sharing it with other people. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Share it with one person, and of course drop us a 5-star review, download the podcast, and of course subscribe. And now back to the show. A goal unachieved is simply a problem not yet solved. A goal unachieved is simply a problem not yet solved. What cool. I didn't make that up, by the way. What a cool way of thinking about it. So basically, learn to solve much bigger, more complex, more useful problems. Learn. How? Practice. Like anything, it's a skill. The more you practice the skill, the easier it gets. Okay? For example, let's imagine we all went off to try and play the piano. Like, I can't play the piano, but I imagine if I tried and really wanted to play the piano, I would probably practice within reason as often as I could. I wouldn't just practice once a month, even once a week, daily at least, maybe a couple of times a day, because I would accelerate the accrual of the skill that I need to play the piano. It's the same with anything. So the key to excelling in problem solving, because we've now established that solving problems is going to be useful for a whole bunch of stuff, including status and everything else that we need in our life. The key to excel in problem solving is to think about solutions all of the time. Think about solutions all of the time. The more you think and talk solutions, the more they come to you. You move towards that which you focus on. If you focus on roadblocks, problems, issues, you will just be faced with roadblocks, problems, and issues. If you focus on solutions, they tend to appear in front of you. Now, some of those might be bad solutions. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Some of those might be bad solutions. It doesn't matter. The more creative you become, the better the solutions you'll find. You'll just come up with more solutions, and the more you come up with, the more options you've got, and the top 3 or whatever it might be are always going to be the best solutions. And by better, I mean simpler. That's it. Simple solutions win. Why? Because simplicity is a skill. Simplicity is a skill. Simplicity isn't basic, although there's nothing wrong with basic. People think there is, but there's not, because most people don't get the basics right in most of the things they're trying to achieve. Simplicity is a skill, because as humans, what are we really good at? Way overcomplicating absolutely everything. We're amazing at it. The further into something we go, the more complex we tend to make it. And the more complex something becomes, we've got less chance of solving it, and there's a lot more chance of things going wrong. So the better the solution, the simpler it should be, I believe. I believe it's only 10% of the population think about problem solving and solutions most of the time. Only 10%, apparently. The great majority think and talk problems. So their mind is focused on the problem, not the solution, the problem. The who is to blame, the what is the cost of the problem, the issue, the problem, the negative side of the equation. It's an equation, right? There's a problem and there's a solution. There's two sides to this. So we're therefore 90% of the population are far more focused on the wrong side of the equation, just the problem. So what does this do? Often people thinking that way feel helpless in the face of problems because they only see the problem. So they're helpless in the face of problems and ultimately wish and hope someone else is just going to come in and ride in on a white horse and solve it for them. They're unable to solve, not through any fault of their own, just through not thinking about it. They're not solving their own problems. They're not being creative and using their initiative. And that we've all got the same brain, basically. We all have so much power and so much ability to use it. It's just perspective on looking in on, okay, not the problem, that's solution. So therefore, one of the most important words you can now use going forward is simply how. This is a creative thinking word. How. Immediately, if you wrote it down, you would put a question mark after it. It's a question, okay? It's a creative thinking word. The word how essentially inspires you to think of solutions. It sends your mind down a path to problem solve. What steps could I possibly take? What options do I have? What is the best road? How do I get to the solution? You're not thinking, how do I get to the problem? I have a problem. How do I get to the solution? If it's an equation, maybe the how is the equals in the middle. Problem doesn't equal solution. Problem, how, solution. Think about that. When you have a problem, which you always have, you're always going to have a problem. Your question is, how can we solve it? How can we solve it? That's the first question to ask yourself. It puts you in control, not the problem. That then takes your mind out of the 90% of focusing on the problem and puts you in the 10% of focusing on solutions. Think about it this way as well. Think about children playing games, right? Children play games, and quite often they're playing with puzzles, right? Puzzles. A puzzle is just a problem. It's just a problem. It's just a problem for fun. It's a problem for fun, right? It's just in their mind, they are facing some sort of problem, but it's a puzzle. It's a game. It's fun. Children solve problems for fun. Okay, yes, in the adult world, it's fair to say that problems can do. They can carry greater risk and a higher degree of repercussions, of course. But try solving them for fun. The process can then be often far more productive. You rise to the level of the problems you can solve. So simply my message is become a Jedi problem solver. So alphas, that's it today. Interesting perspective. Now go and now apply this to anything, whether that be relationship problems, business problems, health and fitness problems, doesn't matter. There'll be problems, or puzzles should we now call them, in every area of your life, and they will always exist and they're never going to go away and they'll keep coming at you. So just get used to that and then ask yourself the first word, which is how. How do I solve this? How creative can I be? The more you do that, the more you will increase your skill level of problem solving, and therefore you will rise to a higher level due to the complexity and difficulty and usefulness of the problems you can solve. Alphas, I hope this has been of some use to you. If you've enjoyed the show, maybe share with someone else. If you know someone else that could do a little bit of problem solving help, be sure to go and share this episode with them and maybe download, keep it for yourself. And of course, give us a 5-star review if you've liked it. And I will come and find you next week.